shelve it. I can't help it. So I kiss what I know so well, because I know that it will never tell. Knocks your stalks right out of my head. So I gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out. Gotta get out.
I just want you. I just want you. The words I never said but wanted to. I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Oh, but these thoughts won't let you go. They keep running back to you. escape me the recoil it has. And I can't look the other way. I'm chasing starlight to find it's died away. Breathe it in. It's just now. We're just falling, and we won't always free fall back to nothing. 'Cause I'm just starting to learn. I've always been chasing.
changes. folks, and welcome to the second to last day of the Dota 2 Gigabyte Challenge in South Africa. My name is Prophecy, and I'm going to be guiding you through a whole series of games today, as we are in day 2 actually, of patch number 6.85. So let's see if it has impacted any way that these teams played. Teams before us this morning are DUC up against BZK Pirates in the lower bracket of the tournament. So whoever gets knocked out here is entirely out of the tournament. So definitely don't want to be losing here, as you can still make it all the way to the prize pool. Anyway, going to be going through the bans quickly. Undying and Leshrak are removed by DUC. BZK and Lena and Clockwork be removed by BZK. So pretty interesting that Leshrak as well as Lena still getting banned out here. Leshrak in particular has hit a pretty heavy nerf, severe reduction on his Lightning Storm in terms of damage, and that just means that his ability to harass and farm in the lane is heavily impacted. So DUC still choosing to ban the goat, though. Don't want to give the chance to BZK to just walk away with this. Taking a bit of time, however, on their first pick. Do still have a number of options available if we're just looking at straight 6.84. Now, obviously, there have been a lot of patches changes. Tusk is one of them. His Frozen Sigil no longer goes through BKB, and his Snowball, I think, his launch time is reduced by 3%, and I believe there's a mana penalty or mana nerf to the ice shards as well. So Tusk got hit pretty heavily. BZK, however, are going to grab themselves the Earthshaker and Winter Wyvern. Very, very good support combo here. Winter Wyvern, her changes are basically that her ulti no longer affects the magic immune secondary targets. So if you're magic immune, you're not going to attack the guy getting hit with the ulti anymore, where it used to be like that. So Earthshaker, I think slight reduction to the damage on his Fissure, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was a slight reduction there. But anyway, looking for our second pick here for DUC. Probably going to be grabbing something along the lines of maybe the Gyrocopter, but no, they're going to pick themselves the Spirit Breaker. Now, this I think might be a bit of a problem. A fairly big change to Spirit Breaker is that the bash chance is no longer pure random. It is in fact pseudo random, so it's going to be a lot closer to that actual 17%, whereas in the past that was well known to not be anywhere near 17% when you treated your Spirit Breaker well. He would often give you that 80% bash chance that everybody loved so much. Anyway, first ban for BZK in the second one will be Huskar. DUC actually removing the Storm Spirit. Now, Storm Spirit took a very, very heavy nerf to his ulti. It can affect him pretty heavily, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of Storm Spirit play anymore, as well as the reduction on the vision of his remnants. And I mean, that has basically been largely what the patch is about. It's pretty heavy nerfs to vision, and that has changed quite a few things. I mean, we don't even see Bounty Hunter here. Bounty Hunter would have definitely been banned out, but since he's no longer got the full vision with the tracked target, not as important. Anyway, we have Phantom Lancer banned out by DUC here, so BZK might very well be looking to ban something like the Anti-Mage if they're feeling keen on that. Really just depends on how BZK wants to fight this. So both teams have what one could consider two supports at the moment. DUC obviously can send either of theirs to the offlane. BZK can send the Earthshaker, but I think it's more likely to be double supports here for BZK. Tusk, the more likely offlaner at this stage. But yeah, I mean, like I said, biggest thing that I have here is that the Spirit Breaker, I don't know. I mean, we got to see how that change is going to affect him. But when Axe got his spin changed to pseudo random, he wasn't really all that popular for a while afterwards. BZK will ban themselves off the Gyrocopter and pick themselves up the lovely redhead that is the Wind Ranger. So she's doing quite a bit of work here. If I remember correctly, the changes to her were slight damage increase. I must be honest, I can't actually remember if they changed anything to Wind Ranger. I don't think they did. Oh well, apologies guys if I am missing. Haven't really gone totally in depth on the patch notes as yet. Still going through them one by one. But anyway, For Duck, however, they will be looking for a mid laner here. Shadow Fiend is a possibility. Could be pretty weak against the Wind Ranger in the mid lane. You know, Wind Ranger gets a shackle shot off, and with supports that she does have Winter Wyvern and Earthshaker, they could definitely set up for a kill here. Tusk and Spirit Breaker are a lot more of a ganking combo though, but the Wind Ranger is going to be difficult for those two to actually do any damage. As we get the Visage coming out, so Necrotic arrives. That's an interesting decision. Does mean that Duck seems to want to fight early. I just don't know how BZK is going to deal with this. Definitely indicates that I would think the Tusk is going offlane as I assumed earlier. Spirit Breaker will be the definite. Exactly. How does this gonna work now? Maybe Spirit Breaker to the offlane, Tusk support Visage, and then you get that little bit of burst to get the Visage's soul assumption charged. I think that's how it would work. For Duck anyway, well, that's how I would run it. We're drafting for Duck. Anti-Mage will be the pickup here for BZK, so just getting a bit of split push going here. They've got the Wind Ranger, she can do the work early on. Anti-Mage will farm up in that time and then start making his movement around the map. Duck, however, will grab themselves the Shadow Fiend for the mid lane. It is a dire side Shadow Fiend, so slightly weaker, won't be able to make as easy movements into the jungle and could struggle if BZK decides to move in there. BZK will grab themselves the Phoenix for the last pick, banning out the Drow Ranger up against the Darkseer for Duck. So Duck, they have to go for a hard carry here. So it's a bit of a tricky one. They're going to go for the Luna actually. Slight buff to her. Since her is now, I think it's 2 more beam. Could be it was that, and I think there might have been something else. But anyway, so side of BZK as well as Duck have completed their lineups. Just gonna wait for the game to load in, and then we will be ready to go, gents. As I said, this is the Dota 2 Gigabyte Challenge, based in South African dollar prize pool, online only tournament, and the finals will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. CET. So guys, if you want to spot out the 2 best teams in South Africa, that'll probably be happening tomorrow. As it is tonight, we have our pretty big game. It is the winners bracket final between Carbon Gaming and
Seconds to battle. The battle begins.
Every coin helps. Nuh-uh.
That was first blood. I barely touched you.
No.
With the Wind Ranger, most likely going to be focusing down either the Shadow Fiend or the Luna, and the rest of the team, I mean, they have a strong team fighting lineup. Duck doesn't have as potent a lineup. They're looking more for pickoffs and all the rest than a straight up hard fight. So BZK, I think once the laning stage breaks down, will be slightly ahead. Yeah, Duck, it's Abyss. Well, he's hanging around. He's got a decently placed ward. It is out of vision of the traditional spot over here. Well, the bash comes through for Abyss as he hits Bobules. He's going to be forced to move closer to the tower, though, as ACG starts working on the creeps here. He's actually doing very, very well. Currently topping the leaderboard with his mid lane. Birdbreaker. So Abyss is going to be making his way into the river, but Bobules will get there first. Does have the haste available to him, and he's going to save it for Soda. So Soda, unfortunately, put in the range creep. Will get himself a little bit of extra gold, as Rockley does grab himself the bounty up at the top lane. Phoenix trying to make himself scarce. Phoenix getting absolutely no experience here, which is a bit of a problem. I mean, ideally you'd want the Phoenix to be at least level 3, and we really hope that he can get something going here at the moment. So, Duck, well, they're gonna try and make something happen here. Get a couple more kills on the Phoenix is definitely the way to go, as I hear the sound of a shackle. It's not going to land, and Rockley's gonna start turning on the razors. Does he have enough? No, he doesn't. The stun's gonna come through. He's gonna get up the second raise. He's gonna miss that one, but in comes Hurley, and down goes Rockley, as Duck loses their first kill sorry, loses the first life, and we've actually got 2 rotations in. Hurley might very well go down. The stun comes through from Rising Devil. Do they have a last bit of damage? That is coming from the Soul Assumption. No escaping the Visage. As Hurley goes down for the 3rd time. Not too bad. I mean, they could have got the kill on the Soda, but he was making himself very, very scarce in the mid lane here. As Seer just moves through, and we'll look for some experience here while they wait for Legend, or sorry, while they wait for the mid laner to return. Rockley has now arrived again to take his spot. Well, Abyss using the Empowering Haste, trying to do a little bit of extra damage, but for the moment, not a whole lot happening. As he's just gonna move around here. Does he get anything? I mean, he's doing pretty well in levels. Farm, actually spectacular farm in comparison to poor old Hurley. So Abyss not looking too bad at the moment. Hopefully he can just you know, get a couple more levels going, hit that all important level 6, and then start the ganks in the mid lane. As damage will come out. Abyss being slowed up by the Splinter Blast, and ACG taking a bit of damage from the creeps. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's a bigger change than most people realize with the bash, and we definitely will see the Split Breaker fall off heavily at competitive play. They, you know, when you have that ridiculous chance to get the bashes in, and then that becomes a lot more like the actual chance that it says. It just tends to make pro players walk away, or, you know, move away from it. As Rockley's going to get caught out again. It is a good Fisher placing, so he's forced to move back a little bit. Soda's trying to get a bit aggressive, but Rockley does have the bottle to keep himself alive. So Soda just eating a tiny bit of damage there from the images. Rockley looks, well, keen on trying to do some kind of damage, but Soda is just avoiding that. Rising Devil is in the area now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Double damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
My arrow lies broken.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
possibly start looking for some damage or not. So, Duck trading a tower earlier and not really getting anything out of it. In the mid lane, it looks like Soda is going to get hit by the charge. Does Abyss have the stun available? No, he does not, but Rockley has the right clicks, and that should be more than enough. Bob Yules has actually moved into quite a bit of trouble. Out comes the Raze, and that'll finish him off with the help of the Soul Assumption there from Seer. And they will start working on their very own tower now, will Duck. BZK doesn't look all that interested in fighting it. Frozen Institutionals doing a little bit of scouting. As we have TP to the base, actually, just to make certain that the Spirit Breaker can heal himself up. Also collects himself that urn, as they are basically just man-moding down mid lane. Sigil, sorry, the ulti does out as Rockley's not caught out. He's going to get off the ulti. Oh, well-timed shackle there from Soda, and he's going to try and get it off now. Rockley does get it off, but it is just too late. Nothing comes through. Charge will be continued. Soul Assumption comes through onto Soda. The burst from the magic damage is not going to arrive in time, and the stun comes through now. They're going to try and do as much as they can. Decap on very, very low HP here, and down he goes. Soda is using the wind run to get himself out of trouble. Ulti comes through from Abyss. You're not going anywhere, my friend, says the Spirit Breaker. Visage finishes off the Earthshaker in backplay, and they will eventually take this middle lane tower. It cost them the life of their Spirit Breaker, but they pick up 3 on Berserk, and they will be very, very happy with this situation right now. Legend has hit level 9. He's got himself that Helm of the Dominator. As Hurley grabs himself a little bit more XP, he has now hit level 4. So he's going to be quite happy with that at the moment. Abyss building towards the treads, has those when he decides to pick them up. Tusk has the mana boots here. I think he's probably going to be going for... Well, I mean, ideally you'd see something along the lines of a medallion here. Ring of Bass is not bad, but they will build into the medallion. I mean, the medallion has been severely nerfed since it was primarily used for Roshan, and it only now does half effect on him, so not too bad for him. Well, Abyss rotating around the map, setting up kills for his whole team. Hurley goes down on the Phoenix for the 4th time, as BZK's problems on that offlane continue to mount. It's not the end of the world, obviously. Hurley can still do quite a bit, but is a bit worrying. ACG takes some damage as he retreats out of the lane. Duck looking to put pressure here on this bot lane, and BZK doesn't look all that interested in moving down here at the moment. They do only see Rockley, so I don't think they're all that concerned. Out comes the Glyph. They will do a little bit of damage to the Milan, try and get something done there. But ACG, do they have enough to actually lock him down here? I don't think so. So it's unlikely they get a kill on him. Steer's going to come through. The stun comes through onto ACG. He's going to blink himself out of trouble. Out goes the Soul Assumption, but ACG should be home and away, as he does make himself scarce there. The top lane goes down, actually, and they will lose the bot lane as well with BZK. So they lost all of their tier 1 towers. Now Duck will be more than happy with this, I think. Sigil just going out to scout in case there is anybody hiding in the trees, but as of yet, there is nobody. So Hurley now does have a little bit of time to himself up on that top lane. Earthshaker still looking for his level 6 as well. It's very, very late timings on all, well, on the offlaner as well as the position 4-5 support, actually. It's a little bit worrying. The side of Duck will also find themselves a very, very tasty looking stacked camp, and they'll just steal this for Rockley as well. Good placing of the ward here in a pretty decent area for movement. They will spot Bob Yules moving his way through. Bob Yules will lay that cheeky ward as well just to keep himself safe. So Rising Devil at the moment just on the hunt, looking for that Blink Dagger very soon just to get a little bit more initiation going. Otherwise, Duck not looking too bad at all here. Abyss going for the Shadow Blade, it looks like. And BZK, well, I mean, if they don't notice it before it comes out, then they could be losing another big team fight. ATG just forced back off the creeps here. He's getting as close as he can, possibly, to that Battle Fury, but it is coming fairly slowly. Actually, not too slowly. He's going to get charged, and they spot out the Spirit Breaker incoming, but ACG should be home and away there. They're not really going to get all that aggressive. Abyss will actually just use it as a method of getting down to the bot linear tower, and that'll be this first tier 1 tower going down. BZK making the better decision, probably just not to get involved in that fight. They are I'd say fairly far behind on the heroes that need to get involved in fights. And right now, BZK are essentially just forced to live off scraps. Duck is really just getting very, very aggressive, 5-manning into them, and BZK not all that interested with heavily underleveled players as well as heavily underfarmed players not able to get a whole lot done. Soda will be forced off his camp as Rockley will steal that from him. Rockley's got to be a bit careful here. I mean, if BZK does want to, take the shot at him, he's only got a mechanism to keep himself safe, so he's not like this ultimate beast that can just get monstered. And Duck looking for their second tier 1 tower here. Abyss is in the area, and once again BZK plays, no joy, don't want to get involved in the fight. Out comes the Fisher, just trying to slow things down. But for the moment, Duck is just working their way through here. Not a whole lot being done, as BZK completely uninterested in actually doing anything to contest this now. So yeah, the Spirit Back is charging to the top lane, but yeah, it's just really to clear out the creep wave here. They don't, they don't want to give ACG any kind of free farm. He does now have the Battle Fury, so his farm is going to increase pretty significantly. Unfortunately, there's no stack camp for him, so it's a bit of a rough one, but I mean, not too bad overall. As he is doing his job as best he can. He needs to do a hell of a lot more though. Try and get his team to victory here. Duck is at the moment doing a very, very good job of just constantly making certain that nothing's going their way. Rockley will get caught out in the mid lane here. They also have the ulti from Decap, and that'll actually result in the death on the Shadow Fiend. So Duck losing their primary core at the moment, but in comes Legend. He's going to pop that ulti. He's not going to land onto Decap. Decap very, very well played there, and will also dodge his way through the trees and TP out. So BZK not even being punished for some fairly aggressive play there. Top tower, ACG is going to try and get it down. He is going to get it down before he TPs out, and he's going to get stunned right at the perfect time. Does Abyss get the ulti off? He does, and ACG taking a chance, not working out as Abyss plays that pretty damn well. Legend certainly making more than his fair share of the work there with a well-timed Lucent Beam just to set up for the stun. So ACG drops for the first time this game, and a pretty big kill at that, especially after Duck had just lost their Shadow Fiend in the mid lane. Rockley returns to the fray, and the target choice appears to be Hurley. The charge is coming through. He realizes that something is not looking great as out comes Abyss. He's going to get stunned on TK first, onto Harley second, and Rising Devil gets off the eye shards. That'll actually trap Hurley for the moment, but a lot of support here as a brilliantly timed Shackle will go through and land onto Rockley as well as Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker already down. Rockley's trying to do as much damage as he can. He's going to be forced out of the zone of the egg. Stun comes through again, but poor old Bird actually just gets finished off. The down goes the Tusk as well as the Shadow Fiend once again. Visage gets a kill onto Earthshaker, but Seer is in a lot of trouble. He's got no assistance here and could be the fourth one down. He is going to be, as ACG finishes him off with the Mana Void. Legend not all that keen to get involved there either, and Duck loses 4 for only 2. And a huge win there for BZK as they get 3,000 gold out of it and about a 3,000 experience swing as well. ACG getting charged in the mid lane, and they're going to try and stun him up, but he's pretty much home and away. There's nothing that they can actually do as Abyss realizes that his charge will be futile and cancels it. So at the moment, looks like Duck are falling off slightly from their early players. We can see that we're at about an 8,000 gold lead, and that has now dipped very, very close to the 2,500 mark. XP is even closer to the 0. And Duck, they need to get things happening here because, as I said, BZK, once they hit their levels, they are actually stronger in the team fights. ACG is going to get caught out here. The stun comes through from Abyss. Does he get off the ulti? He does indeed. He's going to send ACG back. A second stun comes out. It is not going to land, but they have more than enough ranged magic damage to finish him off. Rising Devil getting the last hit there with the eye shots as Rockley also rotates in to help out. And, well, Abyss, he's going to start the next charge, and his target is the mid lane, where it appears as though Soda knows what's coming his way, so he's going to retreat to safety. And Duck, well, they set themselves up for attempt number 3 at the mid lane tower. Last 2 times weren't so successful. I don't think they're going to be walking out this time. Fisher comes out from the Earthshaker, and Duck, well, they're not going to be all that forced back by that. Decap is going to try and slow things down with the Splinter Blast. And that'll be the end of that. Hurley also at level 8. He does have the Midas now, so his levels will increase pretty significantly as Abyss TPs up to the top end to continue farming there. Rockley's in a fairly dangerous area. He's got to be pretty careful about being too close. Legend, however, is nearby along with one of the supports. But yeah, Duck realizing the positioning probably not the best with Hurley having his ulti up as well as Soda, and that potential shackle that could screw them so badly. So Soda, actually, interestingly enough, went for the Midas. Don't necessarily know if I agree with that. I mean, it is an attempt to recover from his early problems, but I think might be a bit of a mistake. I mean, ideally you could go for something along the lines of the Maelstrom, or just complete the Ag Scepter first. So yeah, I mean, he's gone for the Ag Scepter now, so he's pretty much on core or on par. I don't know. I think it's not going to help him as much as he would like. Legend and Seer busy working on these new superpowered creeps with the buff from the War Drums aura, Ancient Thunderhide, as well as the Black Dragons giving the armor aura now, which does stack with itself. So you could be dealing with some pretty scary Ancients there if you do not have more than one set of Black Dragons, and that could be a difficult thing for something like the Gyrocopter to farm up. Rockley as well as Abyss are pushing down the bot lane here. They do have quite a bit of assistance moving in. It does look as though Duck is keen on pushing out the bot lane and seeing what they can do. Legend picks himself up a haste, and Luna, well, what's she doing? She's got the BKB. She hasn't used the BKB yet, so that could be the ace in the hole, but I'm pretty certain they'll spot them with the Observer Ward. They're going to make their way into Roshan now. Obviously, as said, Roshan does become quite a bit more tanky with the Medallion not being as useful, nor the Solar Crest, but Roshan's going to go down all the same. There's just more than enough damage in this pit to account for his life. So he goes down, and Duck will be well on their way to securing this game if they can make something happen with that Aegis. Up on top lane, ACG still farming away like the good old rat that he is. Probably going to be looking for the Yasha next just to try and increase his damage and increase his farm speed. He's going to start working on the Ancients, and probably will be going for the Manta style next then. Duck just wandering all the way over to the top lane as top tower about half HP. Legend is going to walk into a pretty scary spot. He's going to do a bit of damage to Hurley, but he's going to go for the Talisman of Evasion, so grabbing what looks to be an early attempt at grabbing that butterfly. And I mean, BZK, they do have two fairly decent butterfly carries in the Anti-Mage, but Anti-Mage is not really building towards that wind range. It doesn't really have the cash to go anywhere near, so if you can get the butterfly up before the MKB, then Legend could certainly be home and dry. I mean, alternatively, you could just keep the Talisman of Evasion as just a casual Talisman of Evasion for the moment. Duck are losing their top tier 2 tower and probably will not look to contest. Duck is, however, going to go high ground. Yeah, the stun comes out from the Earthshaker, trying to slow things up, but the damage is being done to the tower here. Not a whole lot at the moment, and now they will start doing as much as they can. It's about down to half HP. Legend immediately pops a BKB. I think that might actually be a mistake, as Abyss is on the back lines doing as much damage as he can. Decap goes down to the tusk, and the ulti comes through. Bob Yules gets wrecked as an immediate buyback from both of these supports for the side of BZK. But they lose the tier 3 before anything else can be done. I see Abyss going down in the trees, hiding there for some odd reason. Out comes a ulti from Rockley. It's not actually going to happen as Decap gets off the Winter's Curse. The BKB is popped by Rockley. He's taking tons of damage from Soda, however, and not looking good at the moment. Seer is going to stand and hold. Rising Devil is shackled to a tree, and ACG is taking a ton of damage. He's got to be very, very careful with the Soul Assumption in the area. Legend looks keen to take this fight. And the rest of the team just busy working on the melee barracks. ACG comes out with a huge mana void. It's actually going to finish off 2, and down goes the third. Seer is the last one gone. Rockley is not long for this world, even after the ulti comes. Sorry, the Aegis and Duck loses 4, and not a whole lot out of it, unfortunately, as again another massive swing to the side of BZK. 4,000 gold swing and a 5,000 XP change, and Duck will not be happy with that. They got the tier 3, but I don't think they were all that happy about losing the Aegis and another 4 heroes after that as well. So Abyss the only one to make good his escape. He does have the Silver Edge, but by and large, BZK won't be too upset with that. Didn't lose the racks, didn't lose much besides the tier 3, which is, I mean, it's bad, but it's not really the end of the world. So for the moment, Duck looking to hold serve, see if they can get a little bit of damage done to themselves, and it did actually look as though the bot lane tower or bot lane was actually pushed up by ACG before he arrived to the fight, so well played there by him. Stun well, no, Bash comes through on Abyss. It's not actually going to go off, however, as Anti-Mage just keeps himself to safety. Duck in the mid lane at the moment, doing what they can. Seer working away here, trying to get that Aghanim Scepter up as quickly as he can, and pushing out the mid lane fairly slow. And he will now drop the goggles to get that a little bit increased. Luna with her interesting set of horns. I mean, honestly, these, I don't even know what the hell those things are meant to be. They don't look like anything really, but okay. Talking nonsense. Rockley is hanging around in the mid lane here. Don't really know what Duck's kind of trying to do. I mean, I suppose they can try and push out the mid lane, but it is a very, very difficult fight to take up against BZK. BZK just has this very, very great high ground defense ability with the egg. They have the Earthshaker as well as the Winter Wyvern. I mean, BZK could just hold high ground forever unless Duck gets at least 1 or 2 pickoffs. Now, the 2 supports won't hive buyback, and those are some fairly big abilities if Duck can get the kills on them, but I mean, it's really unlikely Duck is going to be going high ground anytime soon. Up on top lane, it does look as though Soda is going to start doing damage onto Abyss, and poor old Abyss. Down he goes. BZK pick up what is in the end a free frag, and we'll be looking to pick up a tier 2 as well. Does Duck decide to push anything else out? No. So they're just going to drop the tier 2 here, which I think might be a bit of a mistake. And BZK is going to start perhaps working on the top lane tower. Legend has TP'd himself up here, and BZK will just retreat out. So Duck making an interesting decision not to get involved up on the top lane there. I mean, they certainly did have the TPs to do it. So it's just quite interesting that they weren't all that keen. Seer, he bought himself a gem instead of completing the Aghanim Scepter. Now, why would he do that? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all to me. I mean, there's nobody on the side of BZK. Okay, a Wind Ranger, but I mean, if we're all being serious, like the Wind Ranger with the Shadow Blade, is that really worth not getting your Aghanim Scepter? I mean, I certainly don't agree with that. I think that the Aghanim Scepter would do a lot more work than the gem is doing right now. I mean, they can certainly de-ward, but there's 2-3 wards on the map for BZK. So I don't know. It just seems like a very odd decision to forego getting your Aghanim Scepter as quickly as possible to pick up a gem. Particularly because you could get the gem onto Tusk, and I mean, he could do the same kind of job, a better job maybe, as Abyss, doing a bit of damage to ACG, who will just make himself scarce there in the jungle. Duck pushing 2 lanes at the moment as Rockley works in the mid lane and Legend up on top lane. I hear the sound of a charge that will be onto Hurley. He has the Icarus Dive available, so he's going to make himself a very, very scary looking bird as Abyss actually continues the charge. That's an odd thing to do, as Rockley's going to hit the first race but miss the second, and it will mean that Hurley makes himself a very safe little bird inside his base. And Duck, they're going to start working on the towers again. They're going to start working actually on the racks, apologies, as the barracks is going to be the first thing. Legend forced to pop the BKB, maybe a slightly earlier than he wanted to. Charge comes out from Abyss, trying to keep them busy for the moment. As down goes the ranged racks, they will start working on the melee racks now, as another good shackle comes out. Abyss is not long for this world, as he will go down. Soda hunting himself a very big looking cow. Legend is going to get caught out by a series of good ultis here. Bob Yules gets it off, and Winter Ivan will finish him off with the help of Hurley's egg, and that is the end of Luna. But they're losing barracks. They're losing barracks in the top lane here, as Rising Devil's going to try and come through and do what he can. But again, good work there by ACG, as he realizes exactly how much he can push the envelope and actually gets himself a buyback out of the Luna as well. So BZK get themselves a tier 3 in response to a ranged barracks, but I mean, they'll be pretty happy with that. Actually get the buyback out of the Luna, so I mean, that is really going to help Duck. And as you can see, the net worth is actually in favor of BZK right now, as is the XP. The XP is actually heavily in favor of BZK, so yeah, Duck has fallen off pretty heavily since those team fights inside the BZK base, and BZK looks to make a strong comeback in this game. Not looking so good just I'd say 10 minutes ago, but certainly very, very far in the lead at the moment in terms of XP. Gold a little bit further behind, but I mean, they can really just do quite a good job here. I mean, there's very, very little lockdown for the anti-mage, and he can just get completely out of control here now that his split push capabilities are up and running. Legend are going to start working on the Ancients as the rest of the team just pushes out the mid lane. And is Rosh back? He's going to be back very, very soon, 30 seconds or so. So BZK, they're going to be hanging around here. Might just leave one of the Visage Birds in the area, as Rockley looks to just farm out the jungle, which has been cleared out by his opponent Anti-Mage. So Duck, well, timings are just off for them, as they will lose the ability to go for Rosh. Or do they turn around and check? Is very, very close. He's got to be back in the next couple of seconds. And do they leave the familiars here long enough? They're going to fly them over, but oh, what a time. What a time. Seer will clear out the... Well, he won't actually, as Abyss is going to walk straight past. He's going to get caught up by another good shackle. And this Spirit Breaker is just not getting things done at the moment. Every single time Soda gets a very good shackle on him. And the damage he's putting out just more than the Spirit Breaker can handle. So Duck will be spotted in the Radiant jungle and will retreat. Rockley picks himself the AC. And Duck could in theory go up against Roshan now, but if they know he's available is the question. Hurley will clear out a ward, and BZK knows that Rosh is up. Does Duck make a play here? Heart comes out onto ACG, so yeah, he is farming away like an absolute madman. 19k net worth, that is 5k above the Shadow Fiend for Duck. So yeah, ACG is doing a fantastic job at the moment of just forcing Duck to make things happen, probably a little bit faster than they'd actually like to, you know. And I mean, that is one thing about the split push, is that it forces you to maybe speed up on certain plays, and those certain plays, sometimes they do need to be timed correctly, and when they're not, it really just backfires spectacularly, as it has the last couple of times when Duck has tried to get a little bit too aggressive too quickly and ended up just trading their lives in a fruitless attempt to get anything done. ACG and the rest of his team are hanging around in mid lane, as Rockley TPs to the safe lane, but Spirit Breaker comes out with a charge, and luckily for him, he is safe from the mass of enemies hanging around. So well played there by Abyss. He does activate that Shadow Walk again. Do they spot anybody? They do, so they realize what's up here. And the second charge comes out onto Hurley this time. He goes down. Ulti comes through from Legend. He's actually going to get hit by the decap ulti in response and taking a ton of damage from his own carry there. Is Soda, does he make himself out of no, so he's going to get quite a chat. Tusk finishes at Wicked 6-3 as Duck wins a big fight. Ulti comes through, a huge one at that from Bob Yules, but he will go down. That is the Aegis down as well, and the ulti from ACG just not enough. Mana Void doing as much as it could, but not hitting the correct heroes, unfortunately, as Duck will be fine for the moment. We'll target the Roshan, and the big man is not long for the world. And BZK make their move in. Charge comes out from Abyss. Who's he going for? He's actually just going to push out the bot lane here. Give BZK a reason to possibly buy back. And ACG has TP down here to the bot lane. Not really the kind of fight that Abyss wants, since ACG can quite likely solo him. But yeah, ACG is going to focus on the creeps, clear out that wave. And render Abyss's hard work null and void. Rest of Duck is rotating down to the bot lane here, and they should be at the bot lane about the time it's going to take BZK to respawn. So Duck winning a very, very good fight there in the mid lane, and again set up by a good charge. BZK not really in position, getting spotted out there by Duck, so Duck knew how to take the fight. But going high ground is a bit of a different matter here, and I don't know, I just don't think Duck has the ability to take the high ground. Could go very, very badly for them if they get caught out once again. But admittedly, the Luna has been popping her BKB extremely early in this fight. So, I mean, she's been popping her BKB to basically avoid a Fissure, which is doing nothing but trying to slow her down. So it's like you could live with, you could live with a Fissure stun. It's not really the end of the world, especially when you have 3 heroes behind you. So it's been odd to see Legend popping the BKB there early, and I'm a little bit disappointed as Sirius going to get spotted out here. He does, however, spot his opponent Flyer in the Winter Wyvern. Bobul's punching something in the face, getting a bit of gold from it. And Rockley clearing out the mid lane. So Rockley, he's gotten a lot of, I'd say, fairly defensive items rather than straight up damage. Basically figuring that Luna can do most of the damage, but Luna herself has actually gone for some fairly defensive items. So a bit of a disappointment here for me. For the Duck for the Duck cause, I think they could definitely, or at least one of them could have gone with a little bit more damage. I mean, Luna does decent amounts, but by and large, you'd love something to just absolutely blow BZK out of the water, and that hasn't really happened. BZK has gotten a lot of good lockdowns with some good Winter Wyvern ultis, followed up by some great Echo Slams, and after that, Duck doesn't really have a lot of options. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing that that's generally how the fights have broken down. I think that BZK could probably have done a lot better in these fights, to say the very least. Shadowfiend gets himself the town portal scroll. It's interesting. What is his next item? He's got 3k gold, so I would hope that he doesn't go for the butterfly as well. I think that might be a bit of a mistake. Okay. Direglyph used, that's definitely a mistake. I mean, maybe just trying to prevent. But why would they try and prevent that? I mean, it's just anti-mage illusions. Surely they would know that. That's a bit weird. Duck pushing out the bot lane here. And I mean, anti-mage done a pretty good job there with just trying to clear the creep wave, or cut the creep wave, as does mean that Duck has a much more difficult task clearing out. And they're going to go high ground here. A little bit of distraction work being done by Abyss, and this could mean that the bottom lane tower goes down before BZK is really able to turn things around. They get the glyph out, does the side of Duck, and they're going to try and go high ground again soon. ACG is wandering through a fairly dangerous section, but I mean, he's very, very tanky there. It's unlikely they'll be able to kill him off. Duck just hanging around here, waiting for the next creep wave to arrive. I don't know, I still think that they need to get a pick off before they go high ground here, because I mean, they're basically just going to be walking into this killing zone over here for BZK, and it's just too easy, get a good Winter Wyvern ulti, Phoenix ulti on top of that with the egg, and I mean, that's pretty much it. There's nothing that they can really do at that stage. You can see they're trying to spread out here, realizing that this is the problem available, or that this is the problem, as Rockley takes quite a bit of damage, forced to use the mechanism fairly early. And he's going to start working on the damage here, and a good shackle onto that newly fixed up. Well, sorry, as the huge ultis come out, Legend will be the one going down before he can get anything done. He's going to turn on BKB, but it's just too late. Rockley has respawned, but he's going to respawn just to die again. And once again, BZK just ripping Duck apart. Nothing going their way. Seer goes down as well. 5-0, and an Aegis on top of everything. BZK wins that handsomely as Duck drops again. And if we take a look at that fight recap, friends of Duck and fans of Duck, that is a very, very scary set of statistics to look at, because it is again going to crack that 7k or 7.5k mark. DUC has no defense here, so BZK could very well win the game. They're going to start working on the mid lane tower. Do they have any buybacks available? The Abyss buyback will be expended. There are buybacks actually on the rest of the team besides the Tusk. The second one's banned out now as Abyss trying to do as much as he can, but it is unfortunately not enough as ACG is able to blink himself to safety. There's a lot of heroes hanging around here for BZK. DUC gets a buyback out of, well, they expend the buyback on Legend, but ACG, I mean, he is going to be extremely difficult to bring down. He's got another 5k on him as well, so you could, in theory, just buy BKB and protect himself from that. Soda is going to be stunned up for the moment by Luna, but will make himself scarce over there. Damage to the top lane, not a whole lot of significant anything, as DUC not able to get any trades for their buyback. So huge plays here by the side of DUC. We might actually see a completed Skull Basher coming out. ACG is in very, very near vicinity to that Abyssal, so yeah, DUC is looking shaky here in game 1 of this best of 3. Guys, this is the Dota 2 Gigabyte Challenge, and for the moment, BZK have worked themselves into a very, very strong position as they're actually 12k in the lead. This is the largest lead in the entire game, and I mean, if you look at it, they were sitting at a stage below 5k, below 8k in the difference in net worth, and the XP as well, looking a lot better actually. It was never really out of hand, but it is in their favor right now. So DUC have to start playing a hell of a lot better in these team fights. Too often they've just walked into an absolute killing field where BZK, in particular Soda, I mean, that last shackle shot onto the Siege Creep just shut DUC down. Again, not able to get anything done with the Shadow Fiend, and down he went. Well, Soda's going to try and do as much damage as he can to Legend. Legend, however, is not going to be able to fight this. Soda just wrecks him completely. Legend, even with that butterfly, not doing anything at the moment, as BZK going to go mid lane here. DUC cannot afford to fight this now, as Luna also has no buyback. Rockley's going to get caught out. This could be the huge game. Rockley does get the BKB off, and he's going to try and fight up here, but AC just takes absolutely no damage from that. I mean, DUC are about to lose a game that they had entirely in their hands, and BZK, well, ice shots are not going to slow them down at all, as ACG is going to start working here. They're going to come up with as much as they can, but Abyss will be spotted very, very soon. Seer's trying to slow things down, but I mean, what does Visage do at this point? ACG will be healed up by the bird. Abyss runs himself into vision of the gem, and ACG starts taking the melee barracks. Rockley comes in. They're going to try and do as much damage as they can, but ACG caught out, blinks to himself to safety. Out comes the Phoenix egg, but I don't think they have enough to actually finish it off. The ulti comes through onto Seer. He's the only one caught out here, however, and the ulti will go off from Hurley. Backlines, however, going to be caught out by Bob Yule's Echo, and that is just the end of DUC. They're going to get absolutely destroyed once again. 4 down, 5 down. Buyback comes out of the Shadow Fiend to try and save the situation, but it is just too late. BZK have won coming from behind here as DUC throw things away, going high ground. Legend and DUC account for the Phoenix, but they're going to be losing their tier 3s up top, and could very well lose a set of racks here as well. ACG is going to hang around long enough to actually get the kill. He's going to turn and run now. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing they can do to ACG. You could just basically mad mode into any single hero on the side of DUC, and they would be forced to basically deal with him right where he stands. 2 completed sets of racks for the side of BZK, and they are very, very much in the lead here, as Legend tries to protect himself from the range, or tries to protect the ranged barracks from BZK. Rockley moves into the mid lane. He's going to start trying to clear up, but yeah, BZK have opened up a 23k lead. And it is looking grim, DUC fans. It is looking grim indeed, as they don't... I mean, they have the heroes to clear the creep waves, but they don't have the heroes to continue the push anymore. They require both Rockley as well as Legend to push out these lanes, and I mean, BZK can really just completely rat now. ACG has done a spectacular job on this anti-mage, and it's a big problem Duck has never been able to deal with him. They don't have any real hard lockdown for him in these fights. Ideally, you'd love to have a sheep stick or something on one of the heroes, but they don't really have anybody to buy one. And ACG has just run riot the whole game. Constantly been split pushing, and Duck has never really been able to counter that. It does look as though the final flashpoint of the game might be this Rosh Pit as down goes Soda before the fight breaks out. They get the kill, and out comes the ulti from Legend. He's trying to do as much damage as he can to Hurley. They're fighting up against a lot of illusions here as ACG gets out of trouble, and out comes a good ulti, and a massive echo comes from Bob Yule. He gets the stun on 2 as well. Seer as well as Legend are the only 2 left, and they will be finished off here. Legend is caught out next to the tree and will be dying in the river and finished off. Bob Yule's going to miss 2 shots in a row, but there should not be enough, as eventually Legend will be hunted down. Rockley goes down as well, and this is just the end. I think Duck has nobody available for buyback. BZK could in theory just go straight for the tier 4s. They'll start working themselves on the melee barracks, and that is, well, there we go. GG comes out. Duck is going to be very, very unhappy with themselves, since some massive mistakes going high ground eventually cost them the game here, and the Aegis explodes. That's it, guys. Duck loses game 1 after being in an 8k lead, and BZK stages a pretty decent comeback here and wins the game in the end. So it is 1-0, guys, in the lower bracket of the Dota 2 Gigabyte Challenge in South Africa. So thank you very much, guys. My name is Prophecy. You can catch me in game 2. That'll be up in about, say, 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll continue to see whether these teams can take us to a game 3, or does BZK just clean it out and go 2-0. So thank you very much, guys. Catch me in 5 minutes. Bye bye.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team.
All right, good morning and welcome, ladies and gents, to Game 2 between the sides of DUC and BZK in the Dota 2 Gigabyte Challenge. Sides before us, as I said, DUC and BZK. Don't know why I decided to repeat that. Anyway, my name is Prophecy, and I'll be casting solo for you this morning. DUC, unfortunately, throwing away Game 1, going high ground a couple of times too early, obviously helped by the fact that they were aware of ACG pushing out the bot lane there on the anti-mage, but DUC going high ground too quickly and walking themselves into just an absolute monster of a team fight from BZK, and 3 team fights lost later after a lot of pain and effort. They eventually lose themselves the fight that cost them the game. DUC goes down in Game 1 overall. But anyway, let's just quickly go through the current picks and bans. Undying, Leshrak removed by DUC. Spirit Breaker, Alina removed by BZK. DUC has grabbed themselves the Winter Wyvern and the Clockwork. BZK grabbed themselves the Earthshaker and the Tusk. Now, I mean, Winter Wyvern last game played by played by the stand-in decap. That thing was a monster. He got some brilliant Winter's Curses down, particularly on the Luna, the Luna with the Shadow Fiend nearby, and it just generally resulted in the Luna getting murdered before she could get anything done. Earthshaker as well got set up brilliantly, did Bob Yules, and he just got some crazy good Echo Slams in as well. DUC, well, I mean, unfortunately after that, there was just nothing they could do. They didn't really have the team fight ability. Their cores kept getting hunted before the fight even really broke down, and their BKBs were generally expended in a very unnecessary manner. So I think DUC made more mistakes than they needed to, or sorry. Obviously, you never want to make a mistake. Sorry, DUC made a lot more mistakes than they could have gotten away with there, and BZK, made very good plays to force DUC to make those mistakes, but DUC should have still been in enough of a position to actually win through. But anyway, let's go through the second round of bans. The Anti-Mage as well as the Wind Ranger removed here by DUC, and the Huskar removed by BZK. So both sides looking to remove heroes that were fairly annoying for them, to say the least. Last game, Spirit Breaker removed our first ban by BZK. So even after the change to the pseudo-random stun on the Spirit Breaker, they don't like him all that much. DUC will remove their Terra Anti-Mage as well as the Wind Ranger. That Anti-Mage and Wind Ranger really just made so much work for the side of... or did so much work for the side of BZK, particularly ACG and his Anti-Mage. Constant split pushing, forcing DUC to either make a bad play or try and go back and defend their base, and it really in the end it ended up costing them. Soda as well got some spectacular shackles, particularly the shackle on the bot lane when they were going up against the Shadow Fiend as he landed the shackle onto the new now magic unimmune catapult, and ended up costing them the fight for DUC. Queen of Pain will be the pickup onto BZK, so the lovely lady in the bikini is going to be running around this game, stealing souls and generally causing a lot of heartbreak. Probably the mid laner here for BZK on the hands of Soda. DUC, what do they go for now? Opponent mid laners, okay, the Lena's no longer available. They could go for something like the Storm Spirit, although he has been nerfed pretty heavily. They could try another attempt at the Shadow Fiend, but Queen of Pain is known to tear Shadow Fiend a new one, so I highly doubt DUC is going to take that chance, particularly with the Winter Wyvern not doing a whole lot to actually save the Shadow Fiend against the Quap. So that'll be the one option. A couple of the others, let me just check. I mean, they could pull out something really out of the ordinary here. And I'll go for the Lion. Not entirely out of the ordinary, but not really all that fantastic these days is the Lion. 6.84, the late parts of 6.84. Picked up quite often, but to very rare success here. BZK will go for the Pigeon in the Scareth Mage. He's going to do quite a bit of damage here, particularly up against anything that DUC goes for, and I don't know. I just think that BZK getting a better draft here. Duck don't really have a hell of a lot going their way right now. Clockwork is going to have a pretty rough lane up against. Well, I would assume that the Tusk will be the offlaner this time. Earthshaker and Skywrath Mage support. So Clock is very much just dead up against the Skywrath Mage. It's just constant harass. Earthshaker can set something up for them, and BZK could then get a hard carry. Something like perhaps a Luna. Although I think Luna may be a little bit too close to Clockwork for their own comfort. They don't really want to try that one. Alternatively, we could see the Skywrath Mage go mid, but that would be a very, very odd circumstance. Ember Spirit will be banned out by Duck to protect their Phantom Lancer, and BZK will be looking for their hard carry. So Gyrocopter removed, Huskar removed. Thinking Luna could again do a job here. Not fantastic against the PL, but it is one way to clear things. Nope. Spectre it is, and BZK will be quite happy to get that. So Spectre, they did buffer indirectly with a reduction in the price of the Radiance, so that's going to help her out, and the TA will be the completed line.
Seconds to battle.
But look a little bit healthier for that. In the mid lane, Duck is not looking too bad. Slightly behind is Rockley at the moment, with Soda playing very, very aggressively. So Rockley, he's got to be a bit careful, can't get too close, since Soda can just do that, drop the dagger and slowly time out the refraction charges, and then start working on Rockley. And it's a bit of a scary one for the TA, since she can get very, very quickly gibbed without that refraction up. Got the two supports up here for Duck. They look interested in getting a kill, as we actually see Abyss trying to slow Decap down, but Decap just pops the concussive shot. That'll be into that. Bob Yules gets off a stun, so Abyss, he might be in a bit of trouble if he gets caught out too much. Damage is coming through. Doesn't have mana for the battery assault though. Strangely enough, Bob Yules not all that interested in actually taking the fight, so I suppose if they'd maybe rotated in the co-op, they could have gotten a kill there, BZK, but Abyss makes himself scarce. And Duck will be a little bit happy about that, I think. Dangerous times for the Clockwork there. Stun comes out onto Rockley just to get rid of an extra charge of refraction. Start of the fight happens as Soda jumps in, gets the scream off. Seer is in the area, however, as they figured something like that was about to happen. So, bit of damage being done to the creeps here by Rockley. He's on par with the co-op at the moment, which is, as I said, it's not extremely favored to the co-op, but she can certainly kill off the TA if TA doesn't play it 100% correctly. Top lane, Hurley is still looking for that experience, which he so desperately needs. And Rising Devils make certain that he's not going to be able to get it. Fight goes down here in mid lane, as Rockley again on very, very low HP will be forced to use the bottle sooner rather than later, as Soda now makes his way to the bot lane, but there is no rune available as yet. That will be coming out fairly soon, as I hear the sound of Abyss trying to get a kill onto Decap. That is a very, very difficult kill for him to get, and Abyss is going to get turned on here. The concussive shot comes out, the dagger as well. Abyss is going to trap ACG into the cogs, but it's not going to work out. Do they actually get the kill? Last shot comes through, ACG might go down. No, he times that part very, very well, and very, very close. I don't quite know exactly how that happened, since ATG sort of walked over the cogs and then got pushed out the other side before actually doing any damage. So they're very, very nearly going the way of Duck. Do lose Abyss, however. That's the first blood, and he's going to try and do what he can here to slow things down. Does he get close enough to ACG? No, the concussive shot will come out. That means Abyss is not in any position to get something done. Seer will just use the cold embrace to keep himself alive a little bit longer. Bob Yules thinks about going close, decides the better of it, as Rockley at the moment looking a little bit healthier than the co-op in terms of last hits and denies. Not massively so, but more than enough. So we've got, actually, it almost looks like dual lanes in the mid here. The Shaker is busy farming or stacking camps. That is not the way you stack that camp, my friend, even though it was a good attempt. But yeah, Duck at the moment just trying to put pressure on the outer lanes, where mid lane just seems to be more interested in farming at the moment. Damage comes through onto Hurley. He does obviously have the healing salve available to him, and not doing too badly. He has hit level 4. He will pop the healing salve right now to keep himself alive. Seer just hang around on the high ground here, and putting a bit of pressure on the co-op. She's about to actually hit level 6, so we'll be fairly happy about that once she does get it. And the sound of Psionic Trap is going down, but it's a pretty poor place, unfortunately, for Rockley to pop that down, and Soda will probably get the deny on that once he walks into the area. Rockley eats the dagger, and he will... Oh no, he actually popped the fraction... Wait a minute, what happened there? Refraction doesn't purge, so very, very confused as to why the dagger didn't land. Pretty certain it did, but anyway, maybe just landed on a creep. We have two heroes hanging around on bot lane here. Abyss has the invis, so he's going to make a play here on ACG now. If ACG gets caught out in the creeps... Oh, he's going to start it now. He's going to turn on the Spectral Dagger, and he's going to try and catch out ACG here. They're doing quite a bit of damage. ACG could go down, and that would be major. He does go down in the end. It might be a trade, though, as Abyss is caught out behind the Fisher, and lots of TPs in, meaning that he's going to miss the ulti as well. Unfortunately, he's not long for this world. This is Abyss. He's going to try to turn things around, gets the trap in, but it's not all that great. A Seer will go down as well. 2 for 1 in the end as BZK. Well, they're looking a hell of a lot healthier than DUC right now. 3 to 1 at the early stage. Damage is being done to the mid lane tower, however, by Rockley, as well as Legend getting a bit of time up to, time to himself. So he's working his way towards what looks like an early pickup on that Vladimir's offer. Rising Devil hangs around here. Abyss will TP in. Can they make anything happen? ECG did die, so he's going to be a little bit more careful about how he plays at the moment. He's not actually doing spectacularly in the farm stakes, as they're going to try and make another play here. Abyss is going to have missed that. The usage of the Hex, not quite enough. They are going to trap out ACG, but once again he walks over that path and gets himself to safety, and DUC will be a little bit unhappy about this. They're going to try and make a play onto decap now, but they're getting themselves very, very overextended here. Rising Devil will get the stun, and that's going to slow things down, but Seer is going to go down. Does he have the Cold Embrace? He is going to use the Cold Embrace now, trying to keep himself alive. Damage coming out from decap, however. We've got 4 heroes here for the side of BZK, and they'll grab themselves an easy kill. Oh no, they won't! How on earth did the freaking neutrals get that? Oh, BZK will be severely unhappy. Abyss is going to trap a Tusk into the cogs with him, and unfortunately that is not a good Fisher, as it might result in a death onto Hurley. He's going to try and do what he can, but Hurley is going to get finished off by a neutral creep, just completely and utterly massacring the teams here, are these neutrals, as they do lose the top lane tower meanwhile to BZK. They will get a kill, however, so 4 to 1. It's looking a little bit better than I think it actually is, as DUC are, I think, getting a little bit more done. They're really shutting down ACG's farm here. He's not doing spectacularly in the farm stakes, really falling behind. And he is, as I said, prone to falling behind if he doesn't get off to a good start here. Once again, DUC trying to set up a kill onto the bot lane here. Oh, misses by millimeters onto that onto the Spectre there. Could have resulted in a death on her. She's hanging pretty close to the creeps though, so Abyss is going to have to try and get a very, very good ulti here. And out comes the Hex once again. ACG is going to get caught out in the cogs. Does he use the dagger? He does. He's going to get caught out, and the damage comes through. Abyss finishes him off. Abyss has got no method of escape here, so he's going to try and hide in the trees. Will get caught out and finished off once again. So DUC constantly trading fairly heavily for the hard carry Spectre, but I mean, they're getting a lot of work done here. They've lost 2 towers at BZK, so the fact that they have to keep TPing down here, I mean, it's costing a lot of money for the supports, as well as the cores that have been TPing down, or just costing them time as they have to retreat in here. So DUC, I think, might in the end be winning the economic battle, as BZK will not be happy with this. It's 2 deaths on the Spectre right now, but he has been prevented largely from farming uncontested. As we can see, 43 and 13 up against a 62 and 18 Legend, and Legend has also grabbed himself that tower. Soda is going to eat himself a Lance, and he's going to try to do some damage here to Legend, but he throws out the Scream. Legend all of a sudden not very keen to continue the fight there. Rockley works himself in the mid lane, maybe going for that Desolator straight out of the gate. A lot of burst damage there for his team if he can get that one up. And looking fairly healthy right now. So Rising Devil just hang around here, might be grabbing his level 6 pretty soon if he can find a little bit of safety. Spectre is sitting power trades at the moment. She's probably going to be going for the Radiance as quickly as possible. Alternatively, might be going for the the Vanguard. And if she can get that one up, could be looking fairly strong. Legend farming the jungle at the moment, and Soda is going to get a well-timed ulti there, and Legend, he uses, well, he's not going to survive long. Does he get a kill onto the creeps? No! Soda gets the kill in the end. The dream was real for the neutral deny, but unfortunately just a bit too tanky was the Phantom Lancer for the moment. We hear the sound of a potential kill as Rock Lee is going to walk up to Decap. Decap is not really the kind of hero that Rock Lee wants to chase. He could actually get a kill here. The Soda takes quite a bit of damage, but in comes Hurley, finishes off Rock Lee from behind. That'll be that. Seer is using the Cold Embrace to keep himself alive a little bit longer. That's just going to set up a punch for Tusk. Sends him to the moon and back. And Duck losing 3 heroes there for absolutely nothing. 8 and 2 as BZK looks to even things up here as it is about 0 in terms of the net worth. XP is actually heavily in favor of BZK after that little series of shenanigans there. And Abyss, he's not been very, very effective here. I mean, admittedly, he's been trying to make as much of an impression on the Spectre, just trying to shut her down, but it really hasn't worked out since once again down here in bot lane, Legend is going to fall into the same trap as the rest of the team. They've been very, very aggressive. Legend could end up dying. Soda does not have the ulti available though. Rock Lee TP's in as well. Out comes a Fisher, just going to try and trap them for the moment as Soda and ACG will be caught out. The damage comes through. It's going to be slow onto ACG. He does not have the dagger as yet. He's going to try and run himself to safety now. He's going to use dagger, but he does make himself scarce and he will down. Rock Lee, however, caught in the ulti of the Decap Skywrath, which is safe for the moment, but it's going to set up a kill. And down he goes. Down goes the Winter Wyvern as well. Decap on very, very low HP. It goes down to the last hit from Rising Devil, but he will go down as well. It is a 3-for-1, and the only one down is the Skywrath Mage support. Duck are looking very, very shaky now. Trying to get aggressive on this Spectre has just cost them so much. They just constantly trade inefficiently. Abyss is going to get caught up now. So doesn't really have HP to actually finish him off there, so that's probably why he survives. And Bobules has hit his level 6 and building towards... I mean, he could go for the Matter Boots now, but I think just going to try and save up and get that Blink Dagger. But yeah, Duck opening themselves up a healthy lead at the moment. XP is about 2k or more, and net worth is about to crack that mark as well. So we can switch, I think, to the net worth graph now. As we can see, the Soda Queen of Pain currently leading the charge for his team. And ACG still working, and trying to get up that all-important radiance as quickly as possible. Legend has tried to go for an earlier fighting build, picks up the Vladimir's offering, but I think we'll be going for the Diffusal next. But his death has cost him quite a bit. He's been forced to move all over the map as well with the rest of the team, and this is really not working out. So it's almost a reverse situation of what what was happening to BZK in the early stages. Abyss, well, as I said, trying to do a lot of work and really making good attempts at it, just not quite working out. Rising Devil is going to start working on the Observer Ward. He'll get the kill on that. And yeah, for the moment, oh, never mind. Legend is caught out here up on top lane again. Really will get the punch off. Legend probably not going to be able to make the escape. Doctable Gang are not available. Soda drops the ulti, and that is the end of Legend for the second time this game. Duck trying to make something happen on the bot lane, but yeah, I mean, Abyss and Rising Devil really not the two best heroes to try and push this out very, very quickly. So BZK won't be that concerned. It's just the bottom lane tower anyway, as they will TP down. The Earthshaker is probably just going to drop a... Well, no, they're going to TP quite a few down, and this could result in a good stun coming through onto both heroes. Abyss gets caught out, Hurley gets caught out immediately, but the ulti comes in from the Spectre, and this is just a lost fight. Once again for Duck. They lose 2. That is just criminal what they did there. I mean, you see the first TP, well, okay, maybe you don't see the first TP. You see the second TP coming out, or you see only the one TP, damn it, from Tusk. And you're like, okay, no, we can fight a Tusk. Yeah, not expecting him to have Snowball or the rest of the team to get involved, or the fact that they have a Spectre who can engage from anywhere on the map. So, Duck, I don't know, it almost feels like they're on tilt from game 1, because this is really not the way to play up against the Spectre. You're giving her easy kills in the end here. You're just making life very simple for the rest of the team. Since, yes, as I was saying, they were winning the economic battle earlier, putting a lot of pressure onto ACG, but you were constantly losing kills. I mean, if you were just forcing out TPs and then retreating and, basically wasting BZK's time and money, that would have been fantastic. But you generally got, I think they got 2 kills on the Spectre. They might have gotten 1 kill on someone else. But other than that, just really not looking great for Duck, and they've been too keen on getting aggressive at the cost, at any cost. I mean, it needed to be tempered with some measure of just, how can I say it? I can't think of the word now, but like they just needed to temper their aggression to a degree, because the aggression was good, but like just all-out aggression, it's really ended up costing them now. As BZK has opened up a healthy lead. Hurley's going to take tons of damage. He actually gets murdered before the rest of the team can help out. Soda is in the area, but not all that keen to fight, since he gets absolutely wrecked by the Rock Lee right clicks, and BZK loses 1. Not a train smash in the end, is down on bot lane. It does look as though Decap might be going down. Soda's going to TP himself in. He's going to start working onto Abyss. And Decap's going to try and work onto Abyss. The ulti does come out from the Spectre once again. Down goes the Queen of Pain. And BZK might have gotten themselves in a fight they don't really want to get involved in, as ACG is forced to just TP himself home. And he will leave as a fairly healthy win there for BZK. Get themselves 2 kills and a tower off the back of that. And that's the kind of aggression that I want to see from Duck. Force out a fight at the top lane, force out a fight at the bottom, and then turn things around as soon as BZK gets involved in the fight. So, admittedly, a bit of a mistake for the Queen of Pain TPing in there, thinking she could take that fight just, it's so easy. And being taught a lesson fairly quickly that she's not as tanky as she believed when she's at half HP.
Tower is under attack.
So yeah, themselves a pretty big swing off the back of that, and getting themselves in the lead all over, as they will also lose a hero up on top lane, the Lion going down there. So Duck moves into the Rush pit, and Rush will be fighting as best he can, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it through here. Seer does use the Cold Embrace, keep himself alive a little bit longer. BZK, well, they have some suspicion that something's up. Soda does have the Sonic Wave though, so if he jumps in there and drops that, Duck could be in a whole host of worries. Actually, the good placement of the ward there means that Duck isn't aware. Gonna move in again. Unfortunately, BZK doesn't have any smoke. If they had smoke, I think they would have been a little bit more keen. Legend is going to use the doppelganger, so this might actually be a good time. Actually, no, Soda is gonna mean Soda getting caught out here means this is a horrible time. And ulti comes through from Abyss. He's gonna try and lock Soda down. The Hurley punch comes through. That'll actually finish off the line, and a good Echo Slam once again by Bob Yules is going to set up a potential kill or two. It's only going to be 1 for the moment, as down goes the Winter Wyvern, down goes the Clockwork as well, and finally ACG arrives to try and hunt down his opponent. Carry Legend is trying to run through the trees, going to use the doppelganger, get himself a little bit further along the line, but ACG is going to leave it at that. So BZK is going to walk in, and they're going to find themselves a tasty looking Rush, but they don't really have the tankiness to take this, so might just send Spectre in there. He's going to be doing the heavy lifting in terms of taking damage. Actually, no, they're going to put the poor old Pigeon there. Now they've got to be careful. I mean, you don't necessarily want to get too close here with all of the heroes, in case Rush does get the slam off, but it will go the way of ACG. So Duck taking a bad fight there in the end, and BZK once again coming up trumps. So Seer stacking some camps here. I think if BZK saw that, they might very well have stolen those two. No camp stacked there. Soda playing a bit of a dangerous game. We'll get the last hit on the creeps there with the Scream and pick him a little bit more farm. Spectre getting very close to that Radiance. Obviously shut down a little bit in the early game, so not quite the sub 20-minute Radiance that we would be expecting. But other than that, not looking too shabby. Seer is on the hunt over here, dropping a deep ward, pretty decent ward as well. We'll spot quite a bit of the movement of the BZK players. Not a whole lot they could do with that information right now, since Duck doesn't actually want to take a straight up fight inside BZK's jungle, unless they can get it, in a 3v1 or a 4v2, something like that. They'd be a little bit more comfortable taking. So yeah, at the moment it does look as though Duck is playing a very, very passive type game, realizing that their fighting is not going to happen as they would have liked. They haven't really been able to shut down the Spectre as well, and it's getting to that point now where BZK is, I wouldn't say completely uncontested, but it's going to be very, very difficult once the Spectre gets up her Radiance. It's going to mean there's so much free damage onto the Duck players, and they're not very, very strong. None of them will really buy BKB either, besides maybe the TA. Actually, ACG is going to get caught. Yeah, the stun comes through, he's going to be popped. Is that Aegis? And we could actually see a death here onto ACG. Does he make his way to safety? No, he does not. Ulti comes through from Yobule trying to save himself, and ACG will pop the ulti. Not the best timings either, though. And somehow they make it to safety. Ulti comes through from Stoda. He'll get by the Winter Wyvern's curse, and saved by Tusk actually as Clockwork goes down in response. The rest of the team is piling in now. Rising Devil eats a ton of damage from the from the Arcane Bolt, and down goes the Lion, Tusk punching him into the air. Legend is the last one left. He's a little bit interested in taking a fight. Actually, Rockley is trying to man up against ACG. ACG gets burst apart by the combined power of the two cores from Duck. Hurley's the last one left. He's going to be counted as well. Gets himself a triple, but that is a double kill going the way of Legend. And Duck trading 3 for 3, definitely a win for them, as they were a little bit behind. And yeah, Soda, unfortunately, the burst damage on him, I think, meant that BZK wasn't really able to continue that fight as well as they would have liked. Duck might get themselves a kill onto this tower. Nobody really here to defend it, and I don't think they're going to bother getting involved here either. They'll pop themselves the glyph. And yeah, at the moment, Duck is looking fairly solid. I mean, BZK is still ahead. Abyss nearly getting a kill onto the Quap with a well-placed rocket. But there we go. Is out, so Spectre now becomes a whole lot more difficult to deal with. The mischance is available, as well as just the insane farming speed that she will now start to pick up. Obviously has to tank up a bit. 967 HP is nothing to write home about at all, but there's a whole series of good looking towers that they could potentially get a kill on. In the mid lane, Decap is going to account for the Lion with the usage of his ulti. ACG, well, he's in big trouble. He's got to run for the heals now. He's going to throw out the Spectral Dagger. Jukes himself through the trees. Doesn't have a Town Portal Scroll, though, so got to be very, very careful about getting caught out now. Dark, assume he's gone, and they'll just leave it at that. So in the mid lane, BZK getting ready to push. Ooh, ACG, he actually turned off the Radiance. Well played there. So, yeah. He realized that if he'd given away that the Radiance was still active, then definitely would have made a play for him. Winter Wyvern pushes out the middle, just slows things down in the mid lane, and Duck gonna go and look to defend mid lane here. Rock Lee is rotating in. Could get spotted out. He has actually spotted out, I think, or they're pinging. This Abyss. Oh, he might walk himself into a lovely little bit of fun, and he's actually gonna get silenced up at the moment by Decap, but the rest of the team coming in. Hurley will pop the snowball, keep himself alive slightly longer. Ulti comes out from the Spectre. She's doing quite a bit of damage to everybody involved here, and Abyss, well-timed ulti there, is going to keep himself alive a little bit longer. It goes down to the Earthshaker. Quap will get the kill onto Lion in backplay with the Scream. It looks like Rockley's trying to get a return kill, but nothing happening this time. So it's a 2-for-1 at the moment, as a slight win there for BZK. Only 800 gold swing. Hurley, playing a dangerous game here. Stun comes up from Bob Yules. Tons of damage being done to him by Rockley, however, and Rockley is looking to get a kill. He's going to start off with the trap slow, but Bob Yules should be going to safety. Hurley pops the snowball. Does he make himself an exit plan? He is not going to. Seer drops the ulti, but this is actually going to set up brilliantly for the rest of the team. In comes Soda, taking a lot of damage, though, more than he was willing to do. Drops the ulti onto Rockley. Rockley does have those refractions available. ACG goes down to the Phantom Lancer as the fight breaks down. Decap pauses the game. Looks like we might have a bit of lag here. And at the moment, Duck looking very, very solid to say the least. They have opened themselves up a 1,000 gold lead. Well, sorry, that's BZK's gold lead. That's going to be going the way of Duck as soon as this fight ends. XP earned will be going the way of BZK as well. The one thing to note, however, is that Duck has 4 towers ahead, or the Duck is 4 towers ahead of BZK. So this gold lead that Duck is, racking up means very, very little if BZK is able to turn things around and start taking towers. So yeah, I mean, Duck, they have to play this extremely carefully. If they start making the same mistakes they did last game, go high ground, walk to just mass fights, the BZK will just easily rip them apart. Now, admittedly, they have a Phantom Lot, so it's a much better carry than they had in game 1, which was the Luna in terms of split push. So the Duck can fall back into that method, and they have a lot of burst coming out of their TA as well, which again they lacked in game 1. The Shadow Fiend not really doing a whole lot of right click. So Duck could still potentially win this game. They certainly are in the lead, and they're the ones making the plays happen. But BZK is not to be underestimated. They have the heroes that if it goes very, very deep into the late game, Duck could be pretty much fighting 2v5 with the power that the Spectre can provide on the supports and the Clockwork. So yeah, Duck have to be extraordinarily careful about how they maneuver themselves in these games. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, we await the return of Bob Yules, the drafter for the side of BZK. And not a whole lot else going on right now. I mean, we see Rockley, he's about to attempt an escape. His Blink Dagger is actually on cooldown. But I don't think he's likely to go down. He's got 1 refaction charge left. Skywrath Mage is available with the ulti and some slow... No, Rockley could end up actually going down here, which would then counteract all the good parts of what BZK, of what Duck has just done. Legend is fairly safe. He's actually going for what looks to be the Scardy, so good item there. It means he's going to tank up, does a little bit more damage. It's just a brilliant all-round item for any hero that is dependent on stat building, and definitely the PL is dependent on that. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd stage right now. Rising Devil as well as Abyss are in the base, just respawned, and hopefully we can just get some idea of what's happening. I think let's take a look at the items in the meanwhile, as we do see that the Earthshaker has himself a Blink Dagger, so even if Rockley was able to make himself scarce, pretty certain the Earthshaker would be able to catch him out there. And at the moment, BZK looking, I wouldn't say shaky, but certainly the ground is not made it of the most sure footing as possible. And if they do lose ACG a couple too many times, I think they could end up becoming fairly irrelevant in the end. Bob Yules, the one we're still waiting for to reconnect. So yeah, guys, just a little bit about the tournament. This is the Dota 2 Gigabyte Challenge in South Africa. $2,000 prize pool sponsored by the lovely people over at Gigabyte. You guys are watching Nav TV. My name is Prophecy. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me at Prophecy Gaming. The way my name is spelled, PROFECI Gaming, on both Facebook as well as Twitter. Otherwise, follow Nav TV at navtv.co.za. And on Facebook as well as at Nav TV. So we do most of the South African tournaments in both CS as well as Dota 2. Looking to expand a little bit into Europe. We started doing some other tournaments in the European region, and this is hopefully the first of many tournaments for the people over Gigabyte. They are our primary sponsor, so hopefully we can do a good job for them and get a little bit more tournaments, because I think everybody enjoys these small tournaments. You know, once a month, once every 2 months. It's just keeps the whole scene going, particularly the scene in South Africa, which we do love to we would love to grow. We've had a number of issues, but we're on the up, so not looking too bad at the moment. We have a reconnect from the Earthshaker, and Rockley, well, he gets vaporized by the decap ulti, so Mystic Flare more than enough to finish off that not very tanky at all. Okay. Phantom Lancer makes himself scarce on his way past the Ancients. Does he decide to hang around here? No, he does not. He's sees the stack, but he's like, yeah, I'm not so worried about that right now. BZK will just wait for their Spectre to return and start farming again. Abyss got himself the Blade Mail, probably going to try and look for that Aghanim Scepter in the next little bit. Rising Devil, what does he seek? He looks to be a Blink Dagger on the Lion. And Soda will start building towards a Sheepstick, it appears. Yeah, there we go. Is the Mystic Flare first up. Sorry, Mystic Staff first up. And Duck will farm as much as they can to try and cut down the potential of that Spectre. She is pretty far behind, about 3k behind the PL, but she just provides a hell of a lot more than the PL will in a team fight. So just farming out the bot lane is the Spectre, as Soda using the ulti to farm up the Ancients. Abyss, spot out some movement here. Does anything else happen? Doesn't look to be the case. Legend's actually going to come and try and steal this. So I don't know if BZK really wants to give this up. Abyss getting very, very close as Soda is going to blink away. Silence comes onto Abyss though, so he's got to be a bit careful. If he gets caught out here, Hurley gets a punch off and the Mystic Flare finishes him off. Legend's going to rush in to try and help out. He's going to throw out the Lance and then use the Doppelganger to get himself to safety. So Duck just trading one there, a little bit unnecessarily. And in the meanwhile, AC farms away. About to hit level 15, building towards what looks to be the Diffusal Blade, possibly the Yasha. And he's going to push the creeps into the tower, so a lot of damage being done here. Forces out a TP from Legend, just trying to counteract that. Let me just check, I just want to see something. Okay, so no, Legend is actually not going for the Scotty, he's going for the... If I could only remember the name, the map style first, so it gets a little bit more fighting orientated to try and help out in that aspect. Spectre farming away in the jungle, and does look as though it is the Yasha. Yes, it is. It is indeed the Yasha. So might very well be looking for his own Manta Style. Gets a little bit more tanky, a little bit more damage as well. Hurley, does he make the play? He's going to start the punch onto Rockley. Rockley is invisible though, and Soda not keen to continue the fight as he is very, very low HP. And out comes a Mystic Flare. Rockley could be going down. The Silence should be enough. Soda arrives as well as the Spectre. The monster has arrived. Decap, however, is going to be the one targeted by the Winter Wyvern ulti, and that's just a bad decision in the end. Decap might very well lose his life here, but ACG picks up a couple of kills. Abyss gets double. And 3 for 3, that will favor the side of Duck as they get themselves that healthy looking Queen of Pain. Once again, Legend arrives on the scene just in time to make things happen. So he's going to start working on this tier 2. And I don't really know what BZK can actually do to contest, since Legend is pretty difficult to take out at the moment.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, okay. ACG is pushing up top lane here. Not really going to get a whole lot done as the glyph does come out. So Legend will be hanging around here. A bit of a wasted glyph, I think, in the end. As ACG didn't see Rising Devil arrive, so might think that he's safe on the push up here. As Rising Devil will wrap around, so as soon as the second TP comes out and ACG, yeah, he's got to run. He realizes that there's no way that's the only hero in the area, and will TP himself to safety. Do they get the kill on the tower? They do! The MVP is that creep, so the first tower for BZK is picked up by a creep. They'll be very, very happy with that. Abyss wandering around up on top lane, or down the ward lane here. Does he spot anybody? We'll see Soda, but it's going to be a difficult kill to make happen. So Duck pushes out the top lane. BZK hides in the jungle. What do they do now? I mean, a bit of an interesting one. ACG is looking for his own Manta style. He's going to farm away in the creeps here. Not a whole lot of stacking going on for him, unfortunately. I think if they'd had some stacks, he would have been a little bit further along. But as it is, he's doing a good job getting involved in the team fights. He's still very, very soft, though, which is a big worry for his team, since it means that he can't really fight up against Rockley, who's just doing obscene amounts of damage to him. Tower on the bot lane, very, very close to death, and BZK is going to group up here and look to take the fight. They'll leave to fight, or just to clear creep waves up on top, and I'm going to see what they can make happen here. Abyss is the only one down here for the moment, and I don't think if Abyss gets jumped, Duck will be all that interested in taking the fight. Actually, no, Abyss is going to TP into the mid lane, so we get the 3-man smoke as Duck looks to make a play onto ACG here. So it pushes out the bot lane, does have a lot of support. Out comes the Clockwork Rocket, and I think BZK really just needs to get a little bit aggressive on this tower, and they will actually spot out ACG, but he's going to use the Spectral Dagger and make himself scarce over here and run for the hills. And BZK looking to try and defend the mid lane tower. TP's come down to the bot lane, and that'll just be Legend. And if BZK's brave, they could try jump Legend here, but I think they know something's up. It looks too much like a trap, smells too much like a trap, and they're not going to take the bait. Duck will move into the rush pit, look to clean up the Roshan, and Seer will once again be the man tasked with tanking the damage. So this time, BZK not really in any position to defend, and they'll just give it up for free. Nothing they can do at all. ACG continues to farm away here, looks to be completing that
Roshan has fallen to the
Manta stall. There we go, and should be purchasing the recipe as well very, very soon. Seer will just clear the ward, and Duck will just make a concerted effort to push out now. So they're going to be pushing the bot lane that is lost.
Dire's middle
Tier 2 available to the side of BZK. BZK probably won't be interested in fighting that. There's little to no reason that you want to get yourself in this kind of area when you're up against something like a Winter Wyvern or a Clockwork or even the TA. So they'll just look to push out the top lane in the meanwhile, and they'll TP probably the rest of the 4 down to the tier 3s while AC just continues to farm out. Unfortunately, this isn't really the type of game where the Spectre can split push as much as the Anti-Mage could. So ACG, he's a lot slower this game. He's going to try and do what he can, but it's unlikely he's going to get a whole lot done before he has to retreat to the tower. Oh, Duck is looking to get aggressive here on the bases. Damage is going to come out, and Rockley's going to jump onto Decap, but unfortunately Decap does have the Ghost Scepter. He's going to keep himself alive a little bit longer. Out comes the ACG ulti, and now the fight really begins. ACG a little bit far away from his teammates. He gets hit with that the Finger of Death, and he's going to be immediately forced back into the well. Ulti comes through from Soda over the top. That is going to finish off 2 Winter Wyvern as well as Lion gone down, and Duck is forced to retreat once again. This is the same problem they had in game 1. If they get caught out here, things could look very, very grim indeed. Abyss is hanging around on the high ground, as is Rockley and Legend, but they are not keen to take these fights, and they're just going to retreat themselves to safety for now. And once again, BZK just holding this high ground. Duck, they've got to figure out how to play this high ground because at the moment it's costing them big time, and they are not looking so great when they go there. It's really just too easy. BZK, I mean, they actually screwed that up. ACG got caught out badly. He was very, very far away and forced to retreat through here, but BZK gets off a good Winter Wyvern ulti. They get off a good Scream, and all of a sudden Duck is like, okay, well, we've lost our 2 supports, as a well-timed usage of the ulti will finish off Legend there, but Legend doing a pretty good job using the Doppelganger to escape the Echo Slam in the end. Not enough, unfortunately, as they're going to try and turn things around now. ACG is going to dodge that first right click from Rockley, but it does look as the Rising Devil not long for this world. He goes down. Rockley, however, as well as Seer, will take quite a bit of damage. Seer is going to use the Glimmer Cape, keep himself alive a little bit longer. He is going to get dusted up, however, and he's now forced to retreat. Rockley pops the BKB. He might get the kill. He does get the kill onto Hurley, but he is in a lot of trouble. He's got everybody all around him. Out comes Abyss, gets a very, very decent cogs in the end. It's going to trap only 1, however, and Rockley, he's going to get caught out by the course, he goes down. Aegis is popped. And all of a sudden, Duck with 4 in the grave. Does Rockley try to make himself scarce here? No, he does not. He's going to run for it. Going to try and turn things around now. Catches the dagger. As Berserk not really ready to jump him right now. ACG just pushes out the mid lane. Stun comes through, and there we go. Rockley too cheeky indeed. Thankfully, that... thankfully those charges keep him from losing his blink dagger ability. ACG throws out the dagger and retreats over the trees. So Duck again losing a big fight there. BZK coming back with a vengeance. About 3k lead and about a 7.5k lead in the XP as well. So Duck making similar mistake to what they did in game 1. Obviously they do have heroes that farm slightly better, but or should I say do slightly better with farm, but it's still a worrying situation that Duck gets wrecked that easily when going high ground. Rockley finds himself double damage, and let's see if he can make anything happen with this. Duck are going to try their luck in the mid lane this time. Legend will find nothing in the jungle to farm up. A little bit sad about that, but Rockley, he's finding quite a bit, so overall I think it balances itself out. Check what the next item for Spectre is. It's a 3.2k. So I wonder if he goes for a little bit more tank, or if he goes for... I mean, right now I don't think I would advise the heart. I don't think the heart is as useful. He might be going for something like the butterfly, but again, actually the butterfly would be decent. It would force the TA to go for the MKB, which she doesn't really want to. Actually, she's going for that right now. Legend caught out here. Decap is going to eat lots of damage from Rockley. Rockley finishes off the one hero though, as ACG looks to get involved. He's just juking his way over and under, and not a whole lot is happening. Apart from that, Hurley comes in. He's going to start the punch onto Rockley. Rockley's going to pop the BKB immediately. Ulti comes down, goes Hurley. ACG now trying to fight up as quickly as he can. Does he get the kill onto Seer? Seer will use the Cold Embrace to keep himself alive a little bit longer. Rockley finishes off the Spectre's killing spree with that last right click, as Bob Yules blinks himself to safety and taps his drum all the way home. So BZK lose 2 there. Not a complete train wreck, but certainly not the way you would have wanted to take that fight. Duck winning pretty big. They do, however, lose their PL, so it's just Rockley hard carrying as best he can. He's actually going to complete the MKB, so any thoughts of a butterfly are now moot, as the hard carry for Duck is doing most of the job right now. I say hard carry because that really is what Rockley is doing at the moment. The PL is very much distractionary tactics. He can do a decent job, but he's not the one doing most of the damage. Rockley is the one providing all of the impetus in these fights, and it's a bit of a dangerous situation if Rockley goes down, since Legend, like I said, he can do a lot of distraction and he can keep Berserk busy for a while, but if Berserk really commits to a fight and kills off Rockley before the fight really breaks down, I don't think Duck are in any actual position to take it after that. BZK smoke up, running through their own jungle, looking to get a kill down here on Abyss. He does have the Aghanim Scepter, so in theory could make an escape, but I don't find it very likely. Oh, well-timed usage of the blink daggers there. And Abyss, will he get finished off? He will be finished off there. Soda gets the last hit with the poison, so that'll be the end of the poor old Clockwork. ACG, he's still looking for that big item, not quite certain what he's going for. 3,900 gold, maybe just saving for buyback on top of something else. As Berserk pushes out the bot lane, they will be trying to make this tower go bye-bye very, very soon. ACG is caught out in the mid lane. He does still have the dagger available. He's going to throw that now. And pops the ulti as well. Weird usage of the ulti there by Seer. Stun comes out onto ACG. ACG taking a lot of damage though. He will get finished off in the end, but gets 1 kill in back play. Hurley comes in now and down goes, well, very, very close to going down is Hurley. BKB popped by Rockley. Hurley is trying to run, but it's just not going to happen. Too much damage. Rockley picks up a triple, and they're just feeding themselves to this TA. Just what are they doing? What are they doing? And Duck, for the moment, looking pretty damn healthy to say the least. They're about 0 in terms of net worth again. XP, they're also working on that one as we speak, and they'll be going high ground very, very soon here. Do they have any big abilities available on the side of Berserk? So Mystic Flare, obviously that'll always be up. Punch will always be up. Spectre ulti will not. Quap ulti will be, and Earthshaker will be. So that's the slow's going to come out. Let's just have a look at the buyback status for this fight. As Duck is going to start working on the mid lane tower. I don't think Berserk is in any real condition to be able to fight this. Don't really have anybody available. They do have buyback, so I don't really know what's actually going on. Ulti comes through from Abyss, that's going to miss. Bob Yules, however, gets a good one. It's going to stun up quite a few people. Ulti comes in over the top from Soda with that Sonic Wave, but they will be losing their barracks. Nothing they can really do. Dagger goes on to Abyss of all of them. And Duck takes a clean set of racks. Or do they ulti? Well, Mystic Flare goes down into Abyss. He's not going to survive very long here. Stun, triple stun from Bob Yules, but he gets finished off by Rockley. Rockley's now going to start working onto ACG. ACG, however, is killing down the Winter Wyvern. Hurley is trying to get things out. Legend slowing up Hurley. Rockley just arrives to vaporize that poor old Tusk. That's the end of it. Dagger goes out onto Rockley. Rockley's not moving a lot, so they do know where he is. And if he gets caught out here, they are going to pop the Spectre ulti now. Rockley is on very, very low speed. He gets finished off, as does Legend. He's going to get caught out there by the Radiance Burn. Abyss is the only one left for his team. Actually, no, somehow Legend makes it. What on earth? I thought he was dead for sure. But it might have just been the usage of the Doppelganger there. Berserk, once again, I mean, they lose their melee barracks in the mid lane, but win a huge fight again. As they're just somehow able to take these fights at high ground. Duck doesn't really have the best positioning, and they allow Berserk just way too easy of a good team fight there. What did HCG? He completed the heart of the back. So, I mean, the heart's not bad, but I just think that there's better items available. We've got the heart coming on to the PL now. We got the Assault Kuras also coming out. HG, yeah, I mean, he just hasn't been great. Like, admittedly, the hero isn't as able to split push as something like that Anti-Mage, so he hasn't been able to do, as good of a ratting job. Looks as though Berserk suspects a rush attempt at the moment, but there's nobody really available. He's caught out in the mid lane here. It's just going to be Legend. He's pretty safe. Not a whole lot they can do to him there. So yeah, for right now, Duck holds an advantage, but BZK is not far behind actually. Roshan is going to get pinged out now as they see Legend move in there. Does BZK look to contest? Does not appear to be the case. They'll just leave it at that. Roshan will drop. Rockley will grab himself the Aegis. I think Rockley actually needs the Aegis here. Legend will be the one it is given to, but would have been much happier if Tia had gotten that. I think she just needs to be the one that survives through this fight. Legend can do a decent amount of damage now with the heart keeping alive for a very, very long period of time, but by and large, I still think that he's not even near as important as Rockley is in these fights. So attempt number 2 at the bot lane. Does anything happen? Hurley almost gets caught out there, forced to blink himself to safety. Abyss is going to miss the ulti as Legend immediately goes high ground. Stuff comes out from the Bob Yules Earthshaker. As Rockley starts working on the tower, he does have Legend in help. Legend currently under the protection of the Cold Embrace, and he's just going to start going ham and back play. However, very, very passive play here by the ulti from Bob Yules. However, is going to set things up. Down goes Rising Devil. Ulti comes through from the Queen of Pain as well. Down goes the Winter Wyvern. Rock's actually caught out in his own cogs from his team. Abyss will be finished off here. AC is going to start working on him. He's going to pop the cheese, try and keep himself alive, but Rockley, oh my friend, you are in a world of hurt right now. There's no escape for you. ACG finishes him off. One last hit to the back. And down goes PL for the first time. ACG is going to try and work on Abyss. Abyss goes down. It's going to set up another kill onto Legend. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Silenced up. and finished off 5-0 and Aegis. Duck once again are just incapable of going high ground. And this is a scary situation here since Duck once again lose a huge team fight. Let's just take a look at the buybacks quickly. They have no buybacks except on their TA. So Berserk could in theory take out the tier 2 and then take at least one set of racks here. We do have some heroes respawning quickly, but BZK will at the very least I think get a tier 3. That's the least they would expect. Seer has now respawned. He's going to try and do what he can, but look at this tower just absolutely melt to the power of BZK here. So BZK trying to clear up as quickly as they can. If they can get a buyback out of the TA, I think they'll be a little bit happy. And they might just go for the tier 3. Yep, there we go. TA buys back. ACG immediately pops the Manta style. So Duck gets off fairly lightly, I think, in the end, as they could very well have lost a little bit more than just a tier 2. But they live to fight another day at the moment. Yeah, so for right now, it looks as though BZK are on the up and up. Can they keep going, however? Another 4.7k gold onto Spectre. He's sending the courier to the... I don't know what that's for, but just an ultimate orb. I was thinking he might buy both the ultimate orbs for perhaps a Guardy. Alternatively, could be going for a Lincoln Sphere, which I would not be very happy with. I don't think that's all that useful this game. What is he buying? Okay, maybe just saving for buyback. That is a definite possibility. Duck has got 4 heroes hanging around the mid lane area, but Abyss is spotted by this ward on the high ground here, so they know what Duck is up to. Duck is going to reattempt to go in through the mid lane, but ATG will stand there and say, "You shall not pass, my friends." Both of the barracks in mid lane have gone down. I think just the passive push from the creeps is probably what did it for the ranged barracks. Duck, very, very defensive once again, just trying to farm up as best they can. And for the first time this game, ACG has not topped the leaderboard on that net worth. So he's going to be looking a hell of a lot stronger over the next 5 or so minutes if he can continue this level of farm. And well, Duck's going to have to find some way to try and contest him, because right now he's just an absolute monster. And if Rockley's not able to, just sit on him and do the damage, then Berserk really just gets completely out of control. The ulti from Spectre at the moment is just completely and utterly wrecking the whole of DUC. And they desperately need to find a solution. And they're going to spot out Legend. If Legend dies here, oh dear lord, he does not have buyback. He comes through from Abyss. Does he get up a good set of cogs? He does. It's going to trap half the team on the right side of this, and it means that Hurley and Soda are the last ones left. He's going to drop an ulti as Soda, try and keep the team going for as long as possible. Out comes the ice shards. Abyss is in a lot of problems though, very, very close to dying. ACG is just doing huge damage. Bob Yules comes through with the Echo Slam at the perfect time. Rockley is the only one left. Duck are just getting monstered in these fights by BZK right now, and ACG, I mean, he walked into that fight with full HP. He walked out of that fight with just about the same. I mean, no damage is being done to the Spectre here. And DUC, I mean, obviously getting caught out there is not what they wanted, but you'd think that they would do a little bit more than that. Didn't even get a single kill in that fight. Clockwork buys back. There is no buyback on the TA. There is no buyback on the PL. Duck are going to lose 2 games. And both of them, they were heavily in the lead at stages. I mean, how can this really work? Soda takes quite a bit of damage here. Now, he's not on the best. Another Splinter Boss will come out. That'll do quite a bit of damage, and Abyss well timed with that ult. He's going to finish off the Queen of Pain. So he's going to do what he can to keep them busy, but really, he's just setting himself up for a very painful death here. Seer will be the next one. He's going to pop the Glimmer Cape, run under the tower, and try and do what he can. Another Splinter Boss tries to slow things down. Glyph as well, but ACG is on the warpath. He wants this barracks come hell or high water, and there's none of those available for Duck right now. ACG clears out the middle barracks, And just TP's back to the bot lane where the creeps have done a decent job of pushing, actually doing a little bit more damage to the buildings than Duck have right now. So yeah, BCG sending the courier back up to the secret shop, and it is going to be the Scotty, as Spectre looks to just become an absolute, well, I mean, a raid boss. She's already almost at that stage right now, but not quite as tanky if the whole team fights her out. But I mean, with pickup on the Scotty, yeah, 3.7k HP with 21 armor. There is no way in hell Duck is finishing off this hero in just the regular team fight. And I mean, she still can grow. That's the scariest part. That is really the most terrifying part here, is that the Spectre could now go and build something like, say, the Moonshard, you know, get herself an extra little bit of damage, and then start looking for her final maybe set of items. Maybe you could possibly drop the Manta style for something a little bit more damage intensive. Alternatively, you'd lose a little bit of HP there, so maybe not necessary. But yeah, how do you kill Spectre right now? It's impossible. It would require the full combined might of Duck to finish off the Spectre, and that would probably cost them 4 heroes in the attempt. So yeah, Duck's problems are large and very, very visible right now. It's not going to be the easiest comeback for Duck if they are to make this attempt. So Rashawn was hopefully the option for Duck, but he's still got about 2 minutes to go. And it's 2 minutes where ACG just continues to farm away, unchecked, completely and utterly unchecked. He's 26k net worth, about 27k actually, and Duck has long since been capable of actually bringing him down. Soda, which is at the top lane, he looks to be going for either the Scotty or no, not Scotty, the Shivas, or perhaps the AC. I mean, it is a method to try and counteract the AC of the TA, but I mean, the problem is right now they just sick ACG on the TA, and she just can't deal. It's that bad right now. They really are suffering. It is in fact going to be the Shiva's card, so just a method of slowing things down, forcing Duck to try and take bad fights. So once again, we have well, I wouldn't say quite patented, but ACG's favorite method of carrying: push top lane or push side lane, and then wait for the enemy to push in and just wreck them down with a TP in. So it'll just be the creeps pushing in here. Bob Yules blinks in. Soda and the rest know that they can get aggressive, with all of the Duck members just retreating from the bot lane. ACG now farming out the opponent's jungle, got himself another 4.7k gold, doing a very, very good Mushi impression of just saving as much as he can. And for the moment, tower will be protected by Rock Lee. As the BZK, I mean, they could in theory try and make an attempt at Rosh. Rosh is about to spawn in the next second or two. Obviously, Duck will have advanced warning of that with the trap telling them so. Legend, what does he go for next? He's got 3.7, 3.5k, possibly the beginnings of a butterfly. And Decap as well as Hurley will just clear out the wards. So it's a waiting game right now. Duck are a bit scared to make any plays, as are BZK. Oh, Abyss. He's going to fluff the hook shot. Not the biggest problem in the world, since he will have that back up in 12 seconds. I think had he even landed that hook shot, though, it probably wouldn't have been the best situation for the side, as he would have been very, very far away and nobody would have been able to assist. ACG continues to sit at top lane here, just farming out the jungle, making life really, really annoying for Duck. And BZK also playing a little bit passively, just looking to maybe push out this bottom lane, take the tier 2 and secure themselves a stronger looking game. But at the moment, I mean, the whole game, it was, you know, fairly backwards and forwards. Duck would do a little bit of damage, then BZK would win. Like, BZK was always ahead in the kills, but Duck was always ahead in um, in objectives, and these last couple of team fights going high ground have just absolutely destroyed Duck. And the fight around the Rosh Pit, I think probably the final stages of Duck. Again, I wouldn't say a complete throw, but certainly a bit of a tilt. They just can't go high ground for some reason. I mean, even though they have a better lineup this game, last game they didn't have the best lineup, and Seer will just get wrecked there very, very quickly. Being told to push out alone, probably not the best idea in the world. But yeah, I mean, Duck have a much better lineup this game for going high ground, and they still seem incapable of doing it. And that's just the biggest worry for me, is that they've just made it too easy for BZK. They basically walk into just BZK getting good ultis off of Soda, getting good lockdowns on the most important heroes on Duck, and Duck just don't seem to know what to do after that. It's just, they get absolutely hammered before they really make anything happen, and it's just so disappointing, because I know Duck can do better than this, and they just haven't been. So it really is a bit of a disappointment as Legend starts to go high ground here. Soda jump to start the fight onto Rockley. Rockley turned into a chicken and will be forced to use the BKB backplay. Looks like Bob Yules is going to miss the Echo Slam once again, and Legend is not making his way to safety. Rockley's already gone down. Legend will be the next. And Duck have dropped 2 as well as a tier 2, and have got absolutely nothing out of it. No buybacks. Oh, no buybacks. Short is Rockley, and well, PL does have. So for the first time, PL will have a buyback when BZK goes high ground. But BZK are not going alone. They're grabbing themselves an Aegis as well as the cheese. So Duck have a long road filled with many problems and traps get past. Roshan going down considerably slower to the side of BZK than he did Duck. No armor reduction on any member of BZK at the moment, so that definitely contributes. Decap is actually a Bloodstone. I saw him building this earlier. It's pretty cheeky that he's gotten away with this. Low Sword picked up on the Tusk, as ACG will be the one given the cheese. I wonder if ACG doesn't perhaps go for a Refresher AWP here. Now, obviously, Refresher is much worse than it used to be for a Spectre. The pickup of the the pickup of that Ultimate Orb usually made it a worthwhile pickup on any hero, and with the change to just the 2 perseverances, it's not quite as great. Soda jumps in, is going to jump onto Seer, does quite a bit of damage to the poor Ultimate Weapon. Does she even get anything off? No, she doesn't. Just going to set herself up for a death. As ACG is going to try and man-mode into Rockley. Rockley not interested in fighting at all. He's going to go invisible and stay alive for as long as he can. ACG taking a fair amount of damage, but fighting up against just an illusion, and down he goes. Rockley is just irrelevant right now. Abyss goes down as well as AC and friends start working on the tower. Soda takes quite a bit of health out of the Bob Yules ulti. Legend trying to get himself to safety. He's going to get caught up by the snowball, and that should be that. Legend will buy back, but what can he really do at this stage? It's going to be the second lane of Rax. He's not going to try and move in, but I mean, you're fighting against ACG, and ACG just brooks no argument in who's the best at this carried right now. Rising Devil, he's going to try and defend top lane. But yeah, Duck unfortunately have, I think, cost themselves a lot in this game. They really had good positions to try and win this game and just haven't been able to do it. Soda's going to start things off on Legend. Legend caught out once again. He does not have buyback. It is in fact going to be a dieback if he gets caught out. He's forced off to safety under the towers, but a good ulti actually comes out from Seer there. They might get a kill or 2, or no, they do not. In arrives Decap. He's going to finish off the Phantom Lancer before anything goes down, and finally, down goes the Aegis. It is far too late, however, for Duck to do anything about it, as the mega creeps are real. BZK are about to knock DUC out 2-0 in the lower bracket of the Gigabyte Dota 2 finals. And Duck, unfortunately,
Dire's middle tower is
contributing largely to their own downfall. Out comes another Clockwork Cook, not really getting a whole lot done, as Decap is going to try and slow him down, gets maybe uses the silence on him. There we go, the silence does come out. Bobbles will trap him in here with the good Fisher, as Rockley is going to try and get some kills just to make himself feel a little bit. I mean, I really do feel sad for Rockley. He really hard carried the game as best he could, but it's just too late. ATG is just too farmed. Rockley not able to deal with any of this damage, and there we go. Down goes Rockley. Ancient explodes. GG, well played to the side of BZK. They take a 2-0 victory over DUC, knocking the side of DUC into, well, actually out of the tournament. BZK continues their path onward. They will be playing either, I believe it is EN or IFG later on today. So hopefully BZK can continue their upward trend, and certainly a team to look out for in this tournament. So thank you very much, gents. My name is Prophecy. I was casting for NAV TV, and otherwise enjoy the rest of your day. We will have another game up at about 2 o'clock CET, so you can catch us then. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.